Let's review now the different installation steps. To begin with, please take note of the precautions and general safety declaration. Now, the wattmeter sensor installation process. First, define the location and adapted wiring. Install the sensor. Connect the sensor to the transmitter. Turn on the transmitter. Verify the measurement. Plug the power supply. Document your installation in the application journal. Let's focus now on the sensor installation. Step 1. Define the installation location. The wattmeter can measure the energy consumed by a borehole pump or general consumption. It must be installed in the corresponding electrical room. The wattmeter must be wired between the electricity source and the electrical element to be monitored. Best installation would be to plug it after a circuit breaker. It can be wired in several ways depending on the electrical system: single phase, triple phase, or in some cases triple phase with current clamps if the current is greater than 50 amperes. Please note that only qualified personnel trained in electrical hazards may install the wattmeter. Step 2. Installation prerequisites. When the location is defined, you will need electrical safety system installed, cut-off electrical power supply, trained and qualified people to operate. Tools needed for the installation: electrical cable, circuit breaker, electrical box to protect sensor and transmitter, cable stripper, multimeter to verify power supply is off, and general installation tools like screwdrivers. Step 3. Wiring. As said before, wattmeter has to be installed between the power supply and the electrical output. Now let's focus on each type of wiring. Here is the electrical diagram for a monophased circuit. Please cut the phase between the power supply and the electrical output. From the power supply, plug the phase on pin 1. Connect electrical output phase on pin 2. Add a new wire to pick neutral on pin 7. Here is the electrical diagram for a triple-phased circuit under 50 amperes. That is pretty the same as monophased system. Plug each phase from the power supply on 1, 3, and 5. Plug phases from the output on 2, 4, and 6. Add a new wire to pick neutral on pin 7. Here is the electrical diagram for a triple-phased circuit over 50 amperes. Amperometric clamps have to surround each phase with the output plugged on the wattmeter. Amperometric clamp will allow us to monitor the current without passing it through the wattmeter. For this type of system, we won't plug phases on the bottom of the meter. We will pick each phase and neutral, respectively, on pin 8, 10, 12, and 14. Surround each phase going to the electrical output with an amperometric clamp. Plug the clamp's wires on 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Let's focus now on the sensor and the transmitter startup step by step. Connect the sensor to the transmitter. Turn on the transmitter. Verify the measurement. Plug the transmitter power supply. Document and share installation on HummBox Application Journal. Sensor startup prerequisites. You will need HummBox transmitter. Button: 12 volts power supply with the EM12 cable. SP13 cable to connect the transmitter to the wattmeter. Before the installation, make sure to have enough space to put transmitter and its power supply. Cut off electrical power supply. LoRa network up and running. Transmitter provisioned on the LoRa network. End user account created on the HummBox application. To install transmitter, you will need a place where the transmitter is protected and general tools like screwdrivers. To connect the transmitter and the sensor, you have to use the SP13 cable with green and yellow wires. Don't forget to plug the antenna if needed, and you can also plug the maintenance button. You can now turn on the electrical power supply. Verify wattmeter's LCD screen is correctly lightened. You can now start the transmitter and make a manual measurement.
To start your HummBox, press and hold the button until you hear the second beep. Then, release it. After about 20 seconds, you should hear a progressive beep in case of success.
Enforce one measurement transmission.
Check in the HummBox application the last measurement you have just done. If everything is correct, you can now cut the electrical power supply and wire the transmitter power supply. Install the 12 volts transformer while electrical supply is cut. Once you installed the 12 volts power supply, you can now connect it to the transmitter using the EM12 cable. You can now power on the electrical supply. Installation is complete. Don't forget to take a picture of your installation and publish them in the HummBox application journal.